Welcome back to Good Day. We are days from one of the biggest candy and kids holidays of the year. And sure, spooky things have been going on for weeks now, but this weekend it really gets serious. Licensed professional clinical counselor Allison Kaur joins us with how to deal with the scaries and have a successful Halloween. Good morning. Thanks for being here today.
I'm excited to be here.
You know, kids love Halloween because they get to wear costumes and they get to collect candy, but there's also some kind of spooky things that are happening around this time of year too, right?
Absolutely. And you have to think, we as grown-ups have been around Halloween for, 38 years for me. I kind of know what to expect. But these little ones, this is really probably their first go-around, and they're absorbing all of these sights and sounds, and they're trying to make sense of it, and sometimes it can just be overwhelming.
Absolutely. I think in years past, my daughter has always been really excited about Halloween, but this year we've kind of noticed a little bit of a change in her in that she is getting a little more nervous around some of the decorations that we've seen around the neighborhood. We tried to go for a walk earlier this week, and there's one house that has some spooky things, and she stopped like dead in her tracks and was like, I don't want to go. So how do we deal with that? You know, as we're trying to live our lives, we're trying to make good decisions and take our kids for walks.
Right, get some fresh air.
Yeah.
But also you want to attune to their emotional needs, right? That is also important. We want to get outside, get fresh air, but we also want our kids to know that we are a safe place when they have these big feelings and they're feeling scared. So I think it can be really useful when a child is showing you some sort of feeling. You know, you can tell. You can name that for them. It looks like you're scared right now. Are you feeling nervous or what's happening? And they can answer that however they're going to answer it. And you can say, that's okay, I'm right here with you. And do you want to hold my hand? Do you want to go a different way? What should we do? To kind of give them some options, to not rush to say, oh, no, it's fine, it's okay, don't worry, to sort of dismiss, because we don't want them to feel scared, right? We want them to feel okay,
right.
But sometimes the rushing to dismiss the feeling can make them confused because they are feeling their fear and their caregiver is saying, don't be afraid, don't, dismissing it, disregarding it, and not intentionally, of course. We just want them to move through that feeling faster. But sometimes it's okay to just slow down and name the feeling, and that can be powerful for them because they're like, yeah, I do feel scared right now. And then you can give them some options of how to work through it.
Yeah, we've been going a different way.
Which is great. I feel like some parents or caregivers sometimes feel like they have to muscle through, they sort of can be almost a little heavy-handed, and they say, do it anyway. And some kids may respond positively to that, but others that, again, that inner knowing, their own inner knowing is saying don't do it, and then they're being forced to do it. It can be distressing.
So what should we look for, though, in terms of, because I feel like kids do process things differently in terms of even timing. So what should we be looking for if maybe, they are processing some things?
So kids, number one, they process through play, so that open-ended, imaginative play. So you may notice, okay, so you have a scary whatever in your neighborhood. You may notice your daughter kind of arranging her dolls or they're talking about saying something scary, and she's kind of playing it out that way. Or she may talk to you a lot about it. She may say, Mommy, I don't want to, do you remember when we went this way and then I saw this thing, and she's playing it out verbally for you. And then you as a parent can decide, okay, do I just witness this and say, yep, that's what happened? Or do I say, and then remember, I told you that I was right there and we decided maybe we wanted to turn this way. And she's like, yeah. But just because they're playing out their day or their interactions, or they're talking about it a lot, doesn't necessarily mean that they're traumatized beyond repair. It can just mean that they're working it out, and this is how children do it. They do it externally, verbally externally, or play externally. They don't have that internal processing quite yet.
That is good to know, because that is definitely happening. She, gets with the dolls and talks with them and she will sometimes months later come to me and say, Mom, do you remember the house with the skeletons? And that happens with her all the time. So, going forward, we've got trick-or-treating coming up, and even she was watching Curious George the other day, and it was a Halloween episode, and there was something in there that freaked her out. How do we make sure that there's an appropriate level for kids in terms of what they're consuming?
Well, I think you are the expert in your own child. some kids have a larger capacity for stimulation in general. So they can maybe consume more like what we would think of scary things or loud noises or unexpected things. Some kids they just have kind of a more laid back temperament. Other children, they really do need to have more. They need it to be almost filtered, or it needs to be intentional. And sometimes I know we can't always predict literally what's really around the corner or what they're going to see on TV or but there are maybe some steps that we can take. So I think it's always great to practice wearing your costume, see how that feels. I think it's great to read books about Halloween or trick-or-treating or however you kind of celebrate this season. So we can start planting those seeds and have a little more control over how they're being introduced to this subject, what they may expect, what they may see, and think about and talk about how that might feel for them.
And then they'll be really excited come Tuesday when their sacks are full of candy.
Here's hoping.
And yeah, and then I get to take a little tax, you know. At what point, though, do we say, okay, you know what, I think this is beyond me, and we maybe need a little bit more help?
Absolutely. I mean, again, I think that we really are the experts in our own kids. So we probably, if we pay attention to our own internal barometer, can be like, yeah, like this isn't going away. They seem really, really emotionally distressed. They can't move through the feelings. They seem to be like really stuck and having a lot of anxiety, or they're having problems functioning. That may be a great time to reach out to a counselor and say, hey, you know, we had this kind of scary thing, or my child, I've noticed, is having some increasing anxiety or trouble functioning, or having a lot of distressing thoughts or memories. And I've done what I can do, and I need to work, you know, I'm curious how you can come alongside me to support my child. And that's really when we're talking about therapy with little ones, it is so involved with the parent, because the parent is so involved with the child, so
right.
it's really involving all parts of their support system. So it's totally acceptable, and honestly, we'll be very proactive if you really feel like your child's stuck and just struggling to reach out and figure out how a therapist could come alongside and support you.
Okay, very good. Great advice. Hopefully everybody will just have a fun and safe day.
That's what we want.
All right, Allison, thank you so much for coming today. We appreciate it.